Welcome back to the box.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And an outstanding performance on your behalf.
Thank you. That's not what you said when I came off the platform.
It isn't? I'm
No.
sure I would have said that first. And it absolutely was an outstanding performance.
Thank you.
And we're getting underway here. Jordan Gonzak from Ireland, 2:15. And they've got a huge team here this year.
They have. The Irish team's growing every year.
It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger.
So that wasn't super easy for the Irish lifter.
Yeah, the first lift nerves sometimes as well.
It is nerve-wracking coming out.
Tough. And I mean, juniors and sub-juniors, I mean, these are juniors, so they've got a bit of experience now. Yeah, but it's always a tough gig, I think, for the junior athletes, particularly the sub-juniors.
So Viksland coming out for 217.5 kilos.
That was probably a bit tough for an opening lift, probably tougher than I'd like to see.
Yeah, high bar as well. He seemed to struggle a little bit, just bringing it up from the bottom of the squat.
Just didn't seem to have a lot of stability there. Jacob Florelis from Norway, 220.
As you say, though, it's really nerve-wracking coming out on this platform, especially for such young men.
Oh, that first opening squat in any competition is hard. It's even harder when you're a junior lifter. 220, so just shy of his personal best of 232.5. It's that nice big breath in. Depth looks good.
Yeah, depth looked great on that. Didn't have any trouble with the weight.
And that one goes on the board. So Matthew Shapira from Australia now, 225.
He's come a long way, hasn't he? 119 years competing as well.
Yeah, that's
a
lot of competitive. There's a lot of competitive experience, that one. So he should be well prepared for this.
He should. But there's no doubting that the distance travelled to a competition really does have a big impact on the lifters.
And it is tough. Australia and New Zealand, it's a long way to come. You're looking at probably 20, 22 hours flight time plus layovers. It's almost 30 hours of travel time.
And we have seen a lot of the Americans and Canadians who are travelling west to east, which is always worse for jet lag. They have seen, a lot of them have seemed to struggle a little bit.
And handles that opening squat very, very well.
Yeah, I don't think the travel's affected him too badly. That was a very nice squat.
So Daniel Felstein from Australia as well. 230. Big Ray's got his work cut out for him today, handling two Australians.
You know the coach?
Oh, very familiar with Big Ray. He's a top guy, Ray, and a good coach as well.
Coaches have been working really hard at this competition, so we've been running from 8 in the morning through till, I think it was nearly 11 when we finished last night.
Very big days for everyone involved.
Nice depth.
Yeah, that looks
nice
pretty
control.
Good. He should be fine with that. And he is.
So I think we have two groups running in the 93s today, the 93
we'll have
juniors.
2 groups. So we'll get through the first one. We'll have 9 lifters in the first one and then roll straight into the second group.
So here comes Villon from Ecuador. 230 kilos on the bar.
And weighed at 91.85. He's a big, big looking 93 kilo lifter. Just shy of his personal best at 240. Handles the weight well,
Yeah, he looks happy with that.
And gets it on the board. Paul Egger, Austria, looking for 235. Not to be confused with Australia. We have the kangaroos, they don't.
It's easy to make the mistake when you're looking at the board, though.
Very easy. 235.
Now this is well shy of his PB, so this should be quite comfortable.
Yeah, I like to see them be conserved on those opening lifts. There's nothing worse than putting yourself in a pressure cooker, missing your opener.
But he's got no trouble there. Nice and deep, nice and strong. Yeah, because if you miss your opener, that's all your planning is out of the window then. You're instantly back on plan B. You've lost confidence. You're already a little bit nervous. You want to get that squat in, build a bit of confidence. And if you miss it, then it's a disaster, really.
Yeah, look, I mean, as coaches, we always come with plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D, but we usually don't have a G plan that includes missing your opening squat. Winter from Denmark, 242.5. Looks confident in his walkout.
He does. He looks very focused. 4 years competing.
This will be his last year as a junior.
3 white lights.
Gets that one on the board nicely. Jacob Wagner from Czechia, 262.5.
This young man's only been competing for 1 year. That's very impressive to make it to the World Championships in your first year of competition.
Yeah, it's quite an impressive way to run. And he hit the European Classics last year. Squatted at 260.
Again, we're seeing very good depth from these lifters.
Yeah, you know what? This is where, I mean, the sub-juniors and your juniors, and this is where coaching has to really drill in that part of the technique as well. Making sure they're hitting depth early on in their careers and becomes a habit.
So that's all the first squats for this group. We're back to the top for the second group of squats. And this is the Irish lifter again.
Jordan Konzak from Ireland.
Head coach Jay Ferrant bringing him out.
Yeah, he must be absolutely exhausted.
He's been in the warm-up room every time I've been past.
He's going to be requiring several pints at the end of this. 222.5. This is equal to his personal best. That was a solid second lift.
Yeah, I think that was a well-chosen second attempt. He had to work a little bit for it, but it was never in any doubt,
Yeah,
really.
Still plenty left in the tank. Excellent from Norway, 230.
Here he comes. He's 22 years old. He's been competing for 2 years.
He's quite a tall
Yeah, he is.
lifter. I mean, not unusual in the 93s.
He looked a little bit ragged on his opener. Let's hope it was just nerves. That looked tough to me.
That was a tough lift.
Wonder
I
how
think
much
that
more he's
opening
got there.
lift might have just been a little bit high for an opener.
Maybe
for a young
so.
guy. Hasn't been
And
competing long.
He got 1 red light for depth.
I don't think there's a whole lot of room to move there. Probably only looking at 2.5, 5 kilos tops,
yeah, I
really.
think so.
Jacob Florelius from Norway, 232.5. give you an idea, watching at home, just how strong this weight class is, the world junior record is 320 kilograms.
Wow. That's a
It's
huge amount for a junior
huge.
lifter in knee sleeves, no knee wraps, no squat suit.
Yep, all raw.
All raw.
And he gets that one on the board.
I don't like to see a lifter coming out the front of the squat rack. Does that bother you?
Actually, it does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a rule. You won't get red lights for it, but the platform crew are like a well-oiled machine, and they really aren't expecting you to come out of the front.
Yeah, no, I do like it when they step out from behind. And you're right, the platform crew, definitely a well-oiled machine.
They've been great this week. They're working so fast.
They have been fast. They have been safe.
Yeah, they've saved some
And
really bad
all that
squats.
does is just increase the confidence of the lifters.
Yeah.
And you see better performances. Oh, he's had to work for that one.
Yeah, he looks happy though. He looks happy. It looked to me like he lost a little bit of control as he sank into the bottom.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll fix that.
But that was his style on the first one, wasn't he? Controlled and then drop into the hole and come out.
Matthew Shapira from Australia looking for 240. This will be a good personal best for him.
Quite a big jump too, 17.5 kilo jump.
He's a very, very strong young man. Yeah, he's only had 119 years competing, so still quite new to the sport. That looked like a very, very good second squat
yeah,
there.
he didn't no form breakdown at all.
That
He
did
looked
not
very
look like there was a
comfortable.
17.5 kilo
Yeah.
jump in that. Yeah.
I think that was a case of really setting a low opener, getting one on the board, building a bit of confidence.
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing to do,
Yeah.
particularly in the sub-juniors.
Yes.
I think it's even more important in that group. So Paul Eager from Austria, 247.5. That
Gets
looks
the
like a better
squat
walkout,
crunch.
yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, that was very nicely done.
He's got a lot more to come there, I think. That's a
Yeah,
surprise.
still getting one red light.
For,
hard to see
yeah,
from
he
this
got
side.
a depth call from the side referee. Obviously, we're looking at it from the front, so it looks very different to us.
Daniel Felstein from Australia now, 247.5. So this should be a pretty reasonable second lift for him. So he's got a little less experience than the other Australian. He's only got 118 years. I can tell you from my experience that the Australian lifters have got a little bit of experience under their belt. They've got a few years each.
Just taking his time to set up really well. And he's really had to work hard.
That was a
through the
lot
sticking
more
point
work
there.
than I would have expected that to be.
Yeah. It was a big jump. It was 17.5 kilo
Yeah,
jump.
and it just looked like his head was down, his chest was down a little bit.
Do you think maybe he wasn't very confident about it? He took quite a long time with the bar on his back.
Yeah, he did take a long time to set
Yeah.
up. He's having a good conversation with Ray over there in the corner. Really talk about what the next one's going to be. Yeah, Ray's got plenty of experience though.
Next out, we have the Danish lifter coming forward, 255 kilos.
Winter is coming. 255.
So this is just shy of his PB.
Big breath. Sinks it in.
Opened his hand up as he came up there.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times now. He got lucky there. Like to probably see him lift his head a little more.
Mm.
It's just, you can just see it's just starting to push him forward a little bit.
I mean, there's no reason not to open your hand really, but for me, you kind of loosen everything up. If you're gripping tight, then you're keeping everything tight.
Jacob Wagner from Czechia, 275. So getting close to his personal best. Boy, they're rolling through this round very quickly.
There are 9 lifters in this group.
Oh, he sunk that very deep. He almost pulled
I
that back somehow.
I thought he was going to get that. I thought he was going to manage to recover it.
Somehow he almost pulled a Joe Whiteley and recovered it.
I did have a bit of a grind on my squats. I did. It's a real issue because you are nervous. You want to do well, and you come out and you just rush it and make a mess of it. And then you've got a huge amount of work to do, and it really takes it out of your back when you have to recover a squat like that.
And it's a tough ask. I mean, and you're right. You're nervous. It doesn't matter how many years of experience come up on this profile card. You're nervous. And if you're not, there's something wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Because it matters. You care.
Jordan Kunzak from Ireland, 227.5. So they've just gone the 5 kilos. I think that's a good move. And just a little too much.
Yeah, it was.
He almost had that. I think that 5 kilos was the right call. It was almost there.
Yeah, and he kept his position very well, and he was very tight in the upper back, but it was just a little bit too heavy.
An extra couple of minutes rest, slightly bigger flight, probably would have got that.
Well, I think this is a feature of the spotting and loading team being so good. I was getting
very fast.
I looked on the live stream, and it was 5 minutes 20 seconds between lifts in my group.
And I'm sure there's some athletes sitting out the back going, please slow down. Can you just not load so quickly?
We did. The super heavyweights were definitely thinking that. Definitely.
So Vixland from Norway now. Both squats have not looked good.
He's gone up 7.5, which
I think it's a big stretch.
I think it's quite ambitious. Sits back into it. No.
Yeah, I don't think he even got down deep enough on that one. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was pretty ambitious, 7.5. I mean, his second squat was
it was a bit
touch and go. So the other Norwegian now, Jacob Florelius, 237.5. Should be a nice little personal best to take home.
Yeah, nice 5 kilo PB. I think his second lift was fairly comfortable. He's only gone up 5.
He's got solid legs for squatting.
Do you think he's got quite tight knee sleeves on there?
I'm not sure how he even got into those. That was
it's
a very,
squat,
very nice squat.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice squat. Villain from Ecuador. 247.5.
So he matched his PB on his second attempt.
Now, his second attempt, it looked like a bit of work.
It did, but he didn't lose any form. I think he seemed quite pleased with it when he came up. He had a little bit of trouble at the bottom, if I remember right.
I think 7.5 is a pretty reasonable expectation. I mean, you're at the Worlds, you've got to push yourself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, it's a big ask to do your very best performance on the world stage. So much pressure.
Yeah, I mean, so many times, you go to nationals and clock a bigger total than you do at Worlds, and it's just pressure.
Ooh, that was very nervous.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he hit that.
Wow, he is really strong though.
Very determined too.
Yeah, not quite deep enough.
Not quite. That's a shame. But people don't appreciate how different it is to come here and do the lifts that you do every day in the gym.
Yeah, this kid here, Matthew Shapiro, I'm 45, so I'm allowed to say this kid. Tree trunks for legs. If squatting isn't his thing, I don't know what is.
He does look built for it, doesn't he?
And at 21 years of age with a 250 kilo squat, that's not bad.
Yeah, got a bright future in front of him.
Yeah, that's one thing I think a lot of people have to really remember about powerlifting. It's a very long game.
That's true. The junior category goes up to age 23.
He's got a fight in him too.
That was a well-judged third attempt.
Yeah, so he's got 2 years left as a junior. And there's a lot of development will happen in 2 years. Daniel Felstein from Australia now. And Coach Ray just giving a few little last-minute tips. I just looked over to platform 1. Jay Ferrance over there coaching now as well.
Oh, really? He's coaching on both platforms. He gets about, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure he doesn't have a twin brother. So his second squat.
Very positive pop out of the rack.
Yeah, that looks a lot more confident than his second. His second, he really sort of took a long time to get ready.
Looks
put
deep
the fight
enough.
in, come on, and just couldn't get the fight.
Very nearly drove through that.
Yeah, I'd love to see him lift his head a little bit. You could see when he got into trouble there, his head was still down, and it just lets the bar push forward a little bit. So Paul Eger from Austria now, 257.5.
So we're approaching the last few squats in Group A.
And then we'll roll straight into the next group. So 257.5. This will be a nice little 5 kilo personal best for him.
Locked his upper back in really well there.
Yeah, I love watching these guys when they,
Not
even when they
deep
get into
enough,
trouble. Yeah, but even when they get into trouble, their back's still tight, chest is still up. Stick to it, and that'll get you through. But yeah, got to work on sinking it in.
You know straight away if you've lost that upper back tightness, your shoulders roll forward a little bit, the bar comes forward, you've lost everything.
Yeah, and then when you've got that sort of weight, there's not much you can do about it. Winter from Denmark, 262.5. Great to get this one on the board. The second lift was just a hair under his personal best. This one will give him a personal best. And gets it to the top. It looks good. It is.
I would like to see him just keep gripping that bar, though. He
just loosened it a little bit again, didn't he?
I think that's fine if everything's going well.
Wagner now for 275. So missed this on his second.
So he's elected to have one rack in. We have the brand new Speculeco racks on the platform here.
That lever arm,
it's just brilliant.
Made life so easy
instant
for these
adjustment,
guys, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has made life so easy for these guys. Nothing to unscrew, nothing to push across now.
Very nice.
Oh, it was work.
Missed that on his second attempt.
Gets it on his
nailed
third.
it on his third.
Spot on the money. So we'll roll straight into the second group now.
Okay, Adidapo Ojuwale. He's from the Bethnal Green Club in London. It's been going for, I think, close to 100 years. Oldest
and do they
weightlifting,
have
powerlifting club in the UK.
Do they have competitions to see how many times, if you can see his name 3 times fast?
Dapo.
Yeah, I'm glad you took that name.
So Martin Bass, who is from Bethnal Green, is bringing him out.
He's been a busy man this week.
He has. He's the Masters head coach. Here he comes. He's a big deadlifter.
Always nice to have a big deadlift up your sleeve to finish on.
Oh, it gives you all the power, doesn't it?
Rocking the great Brennan SBD suit. Oh,
That was very
that's
easy,
a squat
wasn't it?
right there. That's how it's done.
Very
Into
nice.
the hole, chest
Yep.
up, nice and fast. Don't give the judges a lot of time to really think about it. You want to get in and out. Carl Leinen Alfu from Sweden, 242.5.
He's 23, so this will be his last year in the juniors. Huge amount of support in the crowd for him. Seems to be quite a lot of support for powerlifting in Sweden. They have the front page news in the local paper. They have the banners all over the streets in Helsingborg.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big sport here. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Aliko has helped with that a lot.
Yeah, they have.
And yeah, we're in the home country of Aliko.
10 full warm-up platform, 10 full platforms, 2 competition, 8 warm-up, and 2 training platforms as well.
Fantastic, isn't it?
I've never seen such a huge, well-equipped warm-up space.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. You walk out there and there is room. No one's having to shuffle and fall over each other. Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain.
We don't get so many Spanish lifters. I don't know if there isn't a great tradition of powerlifting in Spain.
It's certainly growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely growing. We've had a Masters World Champion this week from Spain.
Oh, really?
Earlier on.
Very
Good
assured
depth.
squat.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Vid Leskovar from Slovenia. He's coming out for 260 kilos.
Just shy of his personal best of 275. So that should be a good opening lift. Shouldn't be too much trouble.
Got a huge
And
crowd of Swedish fans in here today.
And there's plenty of people cheering, isn't there?
Yeah.
And of course, Aliko do much more than build racks and plates. They support the sport in so many ways.
That's a narrow hand position he's got, isn't it?
I dream of that sort of shoulder mobility. And it's going to be touch and go. He gets the 2 white lights. That wide stance can make it very, very difficult to get the depth sometimes. I mean, I've had a few athletes over the years that I've actually moved to the wide stance because that's the way their hips and muscles worked. They could never hit depth with a normal stance, widen them out, there it is. But in most cases, it makes it a lot harder.
Of course, everyone's built differently, so there's no one style that suits everyone.
That's right. Jacquemet from France, 260.
Well, this is a long way below his PB of 290.
Yeah, that's a big personal best, isn't it?
No, he had to work for that quite a bit. I don't think that was as easy as he would have liked that to be. And he got 1 red light for depth. That's not really the opening squat you'd want.
Yeah, you want your opening squat not to be easy, but you want it to be fast, and you want it to be quick and convincing.
Yeah.
When you start getting, red lights on your opening squat, the next time you come out, they're looking a bit closer.
Yeah.
So Philip Shushkov from Russia now, 260.
You know, this could be a close race. This is the 3rd lifter coming out for a 260 opener.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the wire.
That's another wide stance, but he made that look very easy.
Yeah, he's a strong lifter.
Oh, but he didn't hit depth.
Oh, didn't get the depth on that one.
Yeah. That's thrown the plan, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting lifter. I mean, he also competes equipped as well, so it's great to see so many lifters now competing both classic and equipped.
Do you find, though, that there's some interference with an equipped style squat or an equipped style bench?
It's a lot more complicated to coach, I think,
Mm.
because you're right. I mean, we set up differently. Everything's a little bit different, so it makes training a little bit more complicated. Wow, that was what you want from an opening squat.
Absolutely beautiful.
It was fast, it was convincing, and every other coach out the back looking at it thinking, oh, well, you know, that's a good start. Maybe we're not going to go after him in the squats.
You know, I think this is his first international. That's a very assured opening lift.
Wow, what a way to come to your first international. So Matt Lewis Venner from Canada now, 285. They're opening on his personal best.
That's a little bit risky. Training must have gone really well. I think he made a little bit of a mistake at the bottom there. He pretty much paused the squat, so it wasn't super easy to bring up. I wonder if he just makes a better job of that next time. I think the strength is there, but just at the bottom, he paused for just a moment, and that always makes it slow to bring up.
Apologies for that. Just had a visit from the great Brett Gibbs.
I saw.
Had to provide him with some talcum powder.
Oh. Already? He's not lifting yet?
I've had it in my bag for him for quite some time. And we're not talking several years.
Here's Dapo again. He had a great first squat, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely on fire. He is super strong. You can see he's just fired up just a little bit more for this one. I mean, the first one he was quite calm. Now he's just starting to throw the fire on now. He's gradually increased the intensity.
He was 4th in Calgary last year, I think.
Oh, look at
That's so
that.
easy again. He put 10 kilos on.
Could have put 20 on there.
He could have put 20 on there, I think. He's got a lot more to come there.
That was a great squat. Well, the Swedish crowd is about to go wild. Carl.
Yeah, there's a
Heinen Gilsju is about to take
huge
the
amount of
platform.
hometown support.
252.5. Oscar in his corner there.
That looked deep
That
to
was
me.
hard work. Depth was good. Had to work hard to get that bar back up, but the job is done.
So what would you put on that? 5?
Yeah, I think 5 is going to push him to the edge a little bit. So Philip Sushkov from Russia now, 260. Yeah, he's played the smart move there.
Yeah, you want to get this on the board. You do see people miss their opener and they stick with the plan and go to their second attempt. And I think that's very risky.
You know, if you look at his coaching team, though, I mean, there's a lot of experience in that coaching team, and they produced a lot of world champions.
Oh dear.
He just shifted forward there.
Yeah, he sat right into it. I think he was trying to be really sure of the depth.
Yeah, I think he was sort of so focused on getting depth there that he just lost concentration
Forgot
on
about
everything
standing
else.
up again.
They've put themselves under a bit of pressure here, because he was certainly one to be watching.
He was.
Ruben.
My very first British nationals, I had to walk out for my 3rd squat with nothing on the board, and that's not a feeling you
It's
ever
hard
want.
to do. Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain, 265. And just so you're aware, when you do that, it gives the coach a heart attack as well.
I didn't really have a coach at the time. It was my
Lucky for
husband that
them.
was having a heart attack. I think he wasn't looking forward to the drive home. So Ruben Rodriguez Castro. Yeah, that looked quite nice to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. I think he is too. The Russian team's going to be out the back there, and they're going to be getting in his ear.
Yeah, because the last thing you want now is your lifter to be panicking and trying to overanalyze what's going on. He just needs to come out, not overthink it, and do the squat that he does every day in training.
Wow, Gourmet from France, 270. Now, going by his personal best, this should be a pretty good second lift.
Yeah,
and
we're
the
still
French have been strong, haven't they? We had to put in some work. But you could see, you know, he kept that chest up, kept that head up,
depth though.
And that technique worked, but depth again. That depth is causing problems for everyone.
So Vid Leskovar coming out for 275, matches his PB.
Slovenia. Haven't seen too many lifters from Slovenia this week.
National team kit by SBD there, one of our primary sponsors.
Oh, very nice.
It's a very wide stance, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can just see the difficulty there is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very difficult from a refereeing perspective as well.
So he's got it 2-1. 2-1's good enough.
On the board. Connor Burkett from the USA, 290.
So this is a PB attempt on his second lift.
It's a big squat, but he is
his
super powerful.
Great,
it was fantastic. Yeah. 275 opener. You know, as a coach, I probably wouldn't have hesitated to put in 15 kilos on there either. Yeah. He absolutely smoked it. Yeah, his walkout, super confident. 2 steps.
Yeah, he knows he's got this.
And wow, he is strong.
Training must have gone very well. He has been called for depth by this one-side referee.
One side looked, from this angle, couldn't be sure, so that one side was a bit high.
And lifters are often a little bit asymmetrical, so may look in on one side and not in on the other.
Matt Lewis Fenner from Canada, 295. Getting into some big numbers now. Good focus. And he's having to put in the work. And he just got a bit too much there in the end.
Yeah, I think he just paused a little bit too much in the hole.
Yeah, gave a nice head shake and signal to
this is a surprise to me. This is Dapo coming out for 255. I thought he looked supremely strong. I thought he looked capable.
I thought he would have gone a bit more. I thought he would have gone the 10 kilos. Or maybe 7.5. So keeping something in the tank for a bit later.
Maybe he's really focusing on deadlift. He is a deadlift specialist.
I think sometimes it's also important to look, you know what? You've got to get through bench yet, then you've got deadlifts. If you burn it all out here, you're not going to have any left for that big pull. He is fired up for this one, though.
He is.
He has put the intensity through the roof. Maybe no more coffee for him.
I think there'll be more coffee.
Big breath, head up. Nice. Nicely done.
He did have to work for that.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get any form breakdown in his back or his chest.
Did get a red light for depth though.
But that lower part of the chain certainly started to break down a little bit. So Carl Heinen Yulsiu from Sweden, 260. So we come around for their third round of squats.
"17 lifters in the 93s. It's running really quickly though.
It's moving through very quickly. Wow, he had to fight hard.
He did.
He
had
got
to sit
very
quite
deep.
a long way back into it.
He got
And he's been rewarded with 3 white lights.
plenty of depth.
So here we go.
It is pressure cooker time for Philip Sushkov from Russia. He has put himself under all sorts of pressure.
I mean, he looked strong. I think these are technical mistakes he's making.
He just has to put it all together now.
Oh, and he hasn't managed to.
Just hasn't been able to.
What a shame.
What a shame to go out like that.
Yeah, he'll be devastated.
So what he has to do now, he has to go at the back and refocus his plan.
Yep.
And say, all right, we can't total, but we can still medal in
Yep.
bench or the deadlifts.
So
that
he
needs
can't
to be his
take any
focus.
records. A record must be accompanied by a total, but
Yep.
he can, as you say, still get a medal.
Yep, but he can still medal, so that's got to be his focus. Now he has to shake this off.
And looking forward, he's got a big bench, so
Yeah. So he can still take home some redemption. Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain,
this will be a huge PB for him.
275. He's got the power to do it. Yeah, you can
Not
see
quite.
as he opened the hand and it slid a little bit, there goes all the tightness.
Do you know 2.5 kilo less would have gone? But it's so easy to be wise after the event.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it?
It is.
It's so much easier sitting right here outside of the action and being able to make those calls.
So he missed his second at 270, but he's gone up to 277.5. So this would take the bronze medal for the moment in squat. So I think that's why he's gone up.
Well, certainly worth a try.
He looks a bit panicky though.
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable there.
Oh, he's going to stand up with it.
Wow.
Did he get deep enough?
He showed some heart on that one. He
2
did.
to 1, he did. So that was a big risk, but it's certainly paid off for the moment. He's in provisional bronze medal place in
Yeah, it was
squat.
certainly a good move, and we know with third lifts probabilities are high of missing, so it was certainly a good play.
So now with Leskovar, he's going to look to take that bronze medal in squat back.
So 282.5. Taking his time with this one. It's a big personal best.
It is. I wonder if this is a sign that he's nervous of it. Belief is such a huge part of lifting.
Yeah, if you're really nervous thinking about that weight, it makes it very hard to do.
And he's quite tentative.
Yeah.
See, he stood up with it fine, but I
don't know if he's deep
think
enough,
he's
though.
gone deep enough.
And that was the nerves pulling
Yeah.
up short.
He was
That's it.
frightened of the weight, so he didn't go deep enough.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
shame because he was easily strong enough.
Yeah, look, it's a natural instinct too. I mean, when you're nervous of the weight, you've never felt this one before. It is a
Yeah.
natural instinct to pull up short.
So that risk, that gamble really paid off for the French lifter.
Certainly did. He
He's
gets
going
the
to go
bronze
home with
medal.
the bronze, yeah.
So Matt Lewis, Vienna from Canada now, 295. So missed this on his second. I think it was depth, was it?
I'm not sure. I think he didn't stand up with it. I think he was really almost paused it.
Ah, that's right, yeah. So he's felt the weight now, so sometimes this can make a big difference. Not today, though. Just a bit too heavy today. Just a bit too heavy. So Connor Booker, USA, 297.5 to finish off this round of squats.
And he's looked super strong so
you
far,
can
hasn't he?
see the coach in the corner. Look at him firing him up there.
Yeah.
Getting in his ear, getting in his face. This is what you've got to do.
You squat this weight or you come back and face me.
His coach is pretty big too.
He
So
is, yeah.
that's probably not a bad line to move.
He looks quite calm though.
He does.
I think he's got this in him.
He is super strong. That's the fight. Look at that.
Do you know what? That was a well-judged attempt.
Yeah, there wasn't much more in there. 300, I think, would have tipped the scales.
I think it would.
Yeah, so gets the gold medal squat there. Lewis with the silver and Recommend with the bronze. Great way to finish that session. Don't disappear, though. Get your chips and drink, get back to the sofa and get ready, because we're coming straight back with a bench press in 10 minutes.
The IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships, and I'm here with Joe Stoneface Whiteley getting ready for this bench press to get underway in the 93 kilo men's juniors. And boy, we've already seen some action.
We had some excitement in the squats today, we really did.
And it's going to be even more excitement here. There are some big numbers on that board, with Paul Eager from Austria starting at 132.5. The current world junior record, 203, I believe.
Well, there's some high openers today.
Some big numbers out there. This is some big lifts for young men.
So Paul is lifting without wrist wraps there.
Yeah, he's got that technique of sinking into his chest there.
What do you think about that? I always think it looks like the bar has to go that much further.
Yeah, I've known a few guys that can do it really well. I don't coach that way, but obviously if I get a lifter that comes to me with a bit of experience and that's the way they lift,
Sure.
we look at it and work with it. We certainly look at, trying different ways, but it's certainly not something that I've ever been able to master in my bench. So
Also, I think if there's a lot of leg drive, you have the issue that it might lead to heaving.
yeah, absolutely, it runs the risk of heaving as well. Daniel Felstein from Australia, 140.
A great
Nice
big
touch.
arch there.
Yeah, it's amazing how some of these big guys can get so much arch. And you see a lot of our training techniques are changing as well. I mean, there was a time when we didn't really train for that arch. Now we've got guys that are actually training for that. They're doing flexibility and mobility work to try and improve that.
Well, anything you can do to move more weight.
So,
Just taking a moment to explain to the handoff man exactly what he wants.
yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Rasmus Winter from Denmark, 140.
As long as you haven't got some really complicated requirements.
Yeah, I did see one lifter today, came out a bit late and then had quite a complicated explanation of how he wants to lift off. And
Right. Ended up a bit rushed.
yeah, by the time he got the bar handed out, I think he had about 10 seconds
Wow.
left. And if something goes wrong,
Yep.
not enough.
Taking a big risk. That was a lovely bench though. Very comfortable.
Jordan Konjak from Ireland, 142.5. And the bar is loaded for him. Bar loaded's been called, and he's still putting his wrist wraps on.
I wonder if the coaching team's just a little bit overstretched. We have seen the coach
very
appearing on
unlike,
both platforms.
very unlike Jay to let that happen.
Lifter is very, very calmly chalking his hands there. 30 seconds left
Yeah,
and he's not even on the bench
I don't think I'd
yet.
be that calm.
No.
Yeah, we've talked several times about making sure your setup isn't overly complicated. And if you're taking 20 seconds or 25 seconds to set up on bench, and then he gets it on the board.
And it was very
Wow,
easy.
they did a great job of keeping him calm through that. Most young lifters would have been panicking. But he didn't seem to be concerned at all. He just casually chalked up his hands, stopped for a pint. Yeah, hold my beer while I go and lift this. Matthew Shapira, 142.5. Big Ray watching on closely for this one.
Side view there, was hovering with his bum just over the bench. Let's hope he can keep it down. Yeah, no trouble
Lovely job there. There was very, very little body movement at all. Everything went into the bar. That was very good. Jacob Wagner, check out, 145. So well under his personal best, so this should be very reasonable opening lift. Nice and
That looked
smooth.
fine.
He comes down Comes down to his chest very, very fast, but he stops it quite quickly.
Yes, one of the best benches we had in the UK was very similar. Andy Rigby, who used to move huge amounts of weight. He had records in 3 age classes and 3 weight classes. But the bar would often take the spotters by surprise because it would just drop to his chest as though he'd let go of it.
Excellent from Norway, 147.5. Yeah, you can imagine being the spotter for the first time when they drop the bar that quickly.
I remember. It's a panicky moment. Now that's a super arch he's got there.
Super flexible.
Yeah.
Probably a bit tougher than you'd want for an opener.
Yeah, that looked more like a second attempt to me. It was a bit similar on his squat, wasn't it? He looked like he opened a bit high on his squat
probably
too.
a little bit higher than what you'd want. I think the important thing with too is leaving yourself some room to move as well. I mean, a lot of guys go, you know what, well, I can hit 140 and I'll open on 140. And that's great that you can hit it, but where do you go after that? So basically you finish on your nominated total. A villain from Ecuador.
So we're seeing some big numbers here already.
Huge.
Very careful
Nice
descent.
touch.
Oh, beautiful.
That narrow foot stance. And, you know, that narrow foot position, right in close like that, is great for leg drive, but you can see the body roll a little bit. It does create a little bit of instability.
Oh, okay.
So it takes a bit of practice to get it right. If you can get it right, fantastic leg drive from that position.
Jakob Florelius from Norway. The 185 opener.
And that bench press record is a couple of years old now. Boy, he gets that chest up high. Look at that.
Oh, the bar didn't move very far at all, did it?
If you can get your chest up like that, you've got a great advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
So Paul Eger from Austria now for his second, 137.5.
And now we see some of the difficulties in having such a big group, because we have the 93 split across the A group and the B group, and it looks like we have one of the biggest benches in the B group.
Yeah, it's always quite interesting, isn't it? It's, I mean, often in the opens, you know,
It
the
could lead
medals,
to an odd situation where a lifter in the B group takes the world record in the bench, and then the lifter in the A group comes round, and that's a good lift from Paul Egger.
Yeah, I think that was a good second lift.
But it's difficult unless you limit your weight classes to 14 lifters, which is the maximum allowed. Then there's no other way to do it, really.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a bit complicated. You know, and I suppose throughout the sub-juniors and juniors, they get used to this now. It's great if they've got a big weight class, they get used to it. So when they get to the opens, they're used to the process. They start to understanding how to read the boards. And
of course, it's just the same in weightlifting.
Yeah, that's right. So Daniel Felstein from Australia, 147.5. Had a pretty good opening lift.
He did.
Nice light touch.
Ooh, this is a struggle though, isn't it?
Had to work.
I think that's on the limit.
I think an extra 2.5 kilos is going to stop him.
He's not got it.
Oh, he's got the 2 red lights and the yellow card, so that's the butt coming off.
Yeah, the referee's just tapped his bum, indicating that his butt came off the bench. He needs to keep his head, his shoulders and his bum on the bench and his feet flat on the floor.
Yeah, and that butt is really easy to let get off the bench.
It is.
Because it's a sort of natural response with that leg drive when the weight gets a bit tough to lift up. So Winter from Denmark, 147.5.
My strategy is to have enough that I can get it off the bench and still leave some behind. And that's a nice, easy second attempt.
And he gets that one on the board.
Yeah, that was very nice. I think
Very
he's got a fair bit more.
Very interesting strategy.
Only available to the supers.
Jordan Kozak from Ireland, 150.
There he is again, looking very calm, chalking his
He
hands
is,
slowly while the
clock's
clock
already
ticks
run.
down.
He's just finishes chalking his hands, looks to Jake. Hold my beer, mate. I'm going to go and lift this.
He had no difficulty with it though, did he? It was a really easy press.
Yeah. In fact, probably don't let Jay hold your beer. He'll drink it. Yeah, I mean, he was calm about it and just went out and did his thing.
That's a great arch he's got.
He looks even tighter on this one.
Brilliant.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, just a casual nod as he walks off the platform. Yeah, that was fine.
That was a where's my beer? Matthew Shapiro now, 150. Still think this young fella's got a big future. He's a walking tree trunk.
I'm not sure if his first handoff wasn't quite to his liking and he was just explaining how he wanted it, or just reminding him how he wanted it.
Yeah, I think it's great to remind them when you come out. I mean, they see, I mean, they'll remember your face, but they're probably not going to remember your hand out. And I think it's great if you don't expect them to either.
Relatively narrow grip there.
Let's see what the referee's saying. I wonder if he's going to get a red card here.
Oh, really?
No, white light.
You think it didn't touch the chest?
No, from the angle here, it just sort of looked like his foot might not have been flat. But the referee was having a good look there. I could see the side referee really having a close look, but it was good. So Jacob Wagner, Czechia, 150.
Took him a while to get the press command there because it was just bouncing about on the chest.
Yeah, and we talk about that all the time. You know, you've got to get it down and get it to stop. The quicker you can do that, the quicker you get the press.
Yeah, you're not going to get command when it's bouncing about.
Vikeland from Norway now, 152.5.
Now his opener wasn't super easy,
His opener was
it?
tough, wasn't it? Yeah, his opener looked more like a second. Let's see how his second looks.
Very impressive in the 93s that all these young men have got huge arches.
Yeah, usually the weight classes get bigger. We see the arches get smaller. That's a fight. That's a third lift fight, that one.
Yeah, I think so.
There is not a
sure
whole lot of
how much
room
more.
left. I mean, the smallest increment he can take is 2.5 kilos, and I think that's pushing the
And he wasn't looking too happy as he left the platform. And this is the problem, I think, when you're going out for lifts that are a bit more difficult than you want, or maybe the weight's just a bit heavier than you want. Very discouraging.
If you've got to grind,
yeah,
4 out of your first 6 lifts, that's a lot of
it's
energy.
It's going to take a lot out of you.
Physically and mentally. So Villain from Ecuador, 182.5. That's a monster lift. This is where stability gets interesting with that narrow foot placement at 182.5, because a slight shift in the bar translates, and you can see how much his body's shifting to the left and right. That's
yeah,
I
see exactly what you mean. I've never really considered that before.
But he gets it on the board, gets the job done.
He's got it, and that's a big bench.
Jacob Florelius from Norway. Now this is a big bench.
This is huge.
192.5. Right
and
on his personal
his
best.
PB, yeah.
Wow. 21 years of age. He weighed in at 92.3 and he's pushing 192.5. So we're well over double body weight.
He's got that maximum grip with his first finger kind of extended to cover the ring.
Yeah. That wrist deviation there. Wider foot for stability. Oh, I think he jumped the command there and hesitated.
He got a white light for it though.
Not sure what the white light was for. It looked like he jumped the command and hesitated. Sort of knew he jumped it and thought, ah.
Yeah.
Paul Eager, 140 for his third. The jury's just stepped up for something. Something to do with the referee's lights. So just resetting the referee's lights. Now they'll need to restart the clock. They'll need to restart the clock. There it is.
They have
Good.
done.
So
They shouldn't throw in too much, you know, just having to
I
wait
don't think
a
so.
little while.
And it's one of the things that they have to get used to as lifters as well.
Yeah.
I mean, not everything runs bang, bang, bang. Things happen. There's jury protests. There's technical issues. They have to be prepared and adaptable.
You know, I think his chest just collapsed a little bit on
Yeah.
the descent there. Didn't keep his
Yeah.
chest up and his back
and you
tight.
can see he's sort of having a laugh and a shake
Yeah.
off. He knows exactly
Yeah.
what he did. Daniel Philstein, 147.5.
He missed this last time.
You can see the height difference between him and Big Ray. I'm pretty sure Big Ray needed a step though to take his headphones off him then. Give me your headphones. Bend down so I can take your headphones. Need to get that chest up nice and high. Take a deep breath. And drive that butt into the bench.
His coach telling him glutes on. Keeps the chest nice and high.
There's no hip movement, but just too much.
Yeah, it's not quite strong
Yeah.
enough.
And put in a good effort for it though, that's for sure. And he doesn't look overly upset by that. He knew it was going to be a tough lift.
Yeah.
So Winter from Denmark, 152.5. He looks a bit focused on this one. He was given the old eyeball to the bar there.
It's the thing I do to calm my nerves a little bit. I don't look out at the audience or the cameras or the referees or anything else. I just look at the bar.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to focus on your job. That looks solid.
I think that's an absolutely perfect third attempt.
Spot
Didn't
on
wear
money.
himself out too much for it.
Yeah, hasn't. I mean, and bench is draining.
It is. Takes
Yeah,
more out of your
you've gotta-
back than
yeah,
you realise.
You got to do a couple of long drives on the bench, and it is draining. Jacob Wagner, 152.5. Chest up high. Yeah, just a bit
Oh,
too
thought
much. He
it
had
to a
great
standstill.
control on the way
Yeah.
down there. Mike's from Norway now.
155. Going to have an attempt at a small PB. His second was hard though.
Yeah, we said 2.5 was going to stretch him. Let's see if he's got the fight in him.
He's looking a bit deflated. I think a lot of his lifts
Yeah,
have
you
been quite
can see
difficult.
he's just starting to look a bit tired.
Yeah.
He's going to need to get this one on the board, get out the back, get some fluids, get some carbohydrates in you.
try and recover enough.
He's got one of the bigger deadlift openers. So I'm hoping he's not worn himself out in squat.
What a fight.
You know, I think he's got it.
I hope he
Unless
gets
there was
that.
a technical error from the side referees.
It's on the board. It looked better than his first opener, actually.
Good for him.
Hansack from Ireland, 155.
And he's actually ready to go.
He's actually there on time. So this will be a 5 kilo personal best.
I would say he'd be good for it.
Yeah, he's got plenty of strength, and he's got a good capacity to grind them out as well. And he's using it there. You know, I still think the grind is a really good tool to have in your toolbox.
I think so. Bench is hard to grind though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I can grind a squat, I can grind a deadlift, but
it is a lot harder. Matthew Shapira, 155.
much smaller muscles being used.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool, especially when you get to the end and you've got that big deadlift, you've got to pull, it's going to be a grinder. And it is something that you really have to train for as well. And some people can do it.
I think it depends on your style as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's plenty of people, there's plenty of world champions that aren't grinders, but it's a nice little tool to have in your back pocket. He's got quite a narrow grip, especially for his build, but he gets that one
Seemed
up.
to work for him.
Lots of tricep work. Not sure. He was waiting for the lights. I was wondering why he was still on the bench there. I've never seen him move so fast.
Powerlifters don't tend to move very fast, do they?
Generally not in aerodynamics. Villain from Ecuador. 187.5. And I reckon he's good for it.
Yeah, he has looked super strong. I think he had to work for his second, though.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to slow him down here is that body roll.
Yeah, you pointed that out in your narrow foot position, makes him a little bit unstable.
And, you know, I mean, if you can get it to work for you and you don't get the body roll, it's fantastic. When your body starts moving, all of a sudden you're shifting energy into stabilizing yourself when it should be going into the bar. Chest comes up.
Do you know, I think he lost that on the descent. He was a little bit too tentative.
Yeah.
You can lose a lot of energy, use up a lot of energy on the descent.
But he's put in a 182.5, which is a very big deadlift, a very big bench press. Jacob Florelius from Norway wants a second crack now at 192.5.
So provisionally, he's in silver medal position on bench. I've just noticed that the Russian, he had put in a 185 opener for his bench. He's dropped it to 175.
Oh, interesting. So he's going to play a little bit safer on his opening lift.
So Jakob Florelius, he missed this on his second attempt. Well, his first attempt at this weight.
Yeah, I felt it was just he jumped the command and realised and hesitated. Let's see if he can get it all timed properly on this one. Yeah, it's just too heavy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just a little bit too heavy. So we move into the second group now.
So provisionally, he is in gold medal position on the bench.
Yeah, and quite possibly could stay there.
Ah.
Right, so
Okay.
Leskovar now. So Slovakia will be out for our first lifter for our second group on 150. There is so much action happening here in
and there's a
Helsingborg
huge Swedish team here that are cheering for their home team.
So quite sure what's going on here.
Seems to be having some difficulty with the referee's lights.
Yeah, so the technical controller is holding him back, and they will restart the clock. And the clock restarts.
Here he comes. Looking totally unfazed.
Yeah. He enjoyed the extra minutes rest there.
No wrist wraps.
Yeah, seen a few athletes with no wrist wraps this week.
I've heard the argument that it strengthens the wrists, but I would rather protect them.
Yeah, I think prevention is better than cure.
Yeah. I think the argument, I don't need them yet, isn't a good one.
No, I've heard that a few times as well. And that goes on the board. Yeah, look, I mean, I've been around for a long time in physiology and coaching, and wrist straps, I don't believe, detract from strong wrists at all. I don't think they take away from a strong wrist. And if you want to strengthen your wrist, there's plenty of exercises you can do to strengthen your wrist rather than benching without wrist wraps.
Yeah, I think they're a great preventative. Speaking as a masters lifter.
Matt Lewis Venner, Canada, 150. Just looked at the board and it was a bit slow for Lescovar's next attempt to come in. I was wondering what was happening. And just as I was about to say something, it came up.
That was a super easy opener for Matt.
Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain.
Wouldn't be surprised to see 7.5 or even 10 kilos going on that. It's a very, very easy press.
Yeah, I mean, when you get up to these weight classes, you start seeing some bigger jumps in bench press than we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So it's not unusual to see these guys throwing 10 kilos.
Yeah, and he's put 7.5 on. I think that's a good move.
So 155. This will be a personal best.
Brave opening on a PB.
Well, he's clearly made a lot of progress in his last training block, because that did not look like a personal best.
Oh, we had Spanish lifters on both platforms for a moment there.
Yeah, they've got a few more lifters than normal, and the coat man coaching, Alejandro, is the world champion last week. And coached by none other than our very own Paco, IPF media photographer. So
We're
155.
having some more technical issues with the lights. But this is Adidapo Ojiwali from Bethnal Green in London.
So he's come out to lift. They probably should have restarted the clock and held him back, but he raced out there. Yeah, and that's just, I mean, inexperience from the lifter. You know what? He gets the job done anyway.
Yeah, that was a big groan at the bottom, wasn't it? That was almost as if
he's got 3 red lights. Not quite sure what they were for, but they've got yellow cards, so I am guessing.
Apparently he went for the command.
So he jumped the command there. Right now,
the press was easy though, so he won't have any difficulty correcting that.
No, not at all. I mean, that's an easy one, and it's actually not an unusual error to make in sub-juniors and
even
juniors.
amongst some experienced lifters.
You would never do that, Joe.
Oh, I have. I did it last year at the British. It was so embarrassing.
He gets the 3 white lights on the board. It is when you do it, particularly when you drill. You know,
Yeah.
you're a coach as well, like myself, and you drill these things into athletes. You focus, listen,
Yeah.
and then you do it yourself.
And then you're thinking about all your cues, and you think you know, because I'm a referee too, I think I know when the press command should come.
Document from France, 165.
10 kilos below his PB.
And it just goes to show that it doesn't matter how much experience you've got, you get on that platform, and whether you're a junior, an open, a masters, we're all equal.
Oh dear, he looks like he's going to lock it out, but the bar
Yeah, I think the
dipped,
bar
didn't
dropped.
Oh,
So
maybe it didn't.
only one side.
The rule is that the whole length of the bar must drop.
The whole bar has to drop, and that's often been the confusion as well with when you're new to powerlifting. You see a little bit of a bar dip a little bit, and they think it's no lift, the whole bar. So right now, Sushkov from Russia, 175, has to put a good opener on the board, and it's time for some redemption.
Yes, he's dropped his opener, which I think is a good move,
really
giving
smart.
some confidence. He's clearly a bench specialist. His PB is down as 195.5. Yes, that's lovely and easy.
He's strong, isn't he?
So presumably that's some kind of national or continental record he has?
Yeah, that'd be that would probably be the Russian record from the junior nationals, I'd say.
Oh, okay. He did get a red light.
You know, the blue card.
Downward movement?
Yeah, I believe so. And it was a side referee as well. So when you see that bar on the from the side, it can look like the whole bar is dropping. Hence why we have 3 referees. So Connor Boquette, 177.5. And a monster squat. And his bench looks super powerful as well.
That's just fantastic, isn't it?
Wow.
Do you know, I think this young man's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, he is putting on the numbers now. I mean, if you can add 10 kilos at the end of his bench, that is going to put him probably too far in front for anyone to really peg down, particularly now that Sushkov is out of the race.
Yeah.
So Leskovar from Slovenia. Getting fired up there.
Very nice.
That was a very nice
no
press.
problems at all.
None at all. Very nicely done. I'm not even going to attempt his name.
Dapo.
That's all yours.
Dapo.
From Great Britain, 155.
I think he just got a bit overexcited, went before the command.
Yeah, and look, it's easy to do.
Yeah. He's a deadlifter. He just wants to get through this bit.
Yeah, just get me through the bench,
Yeah.
get me to the deadlifts. And it's such an easy thing to do. You come out for that first bench, your adrenaline is pumping, you are excited, you
Yes,
just
I've
want to
got
lift
it.
this thing.
Throw it back in the rack.
Much better.
Yeah, that looked great.
And there it is,
But I
3
think it
white
was the right
lights.
thing to do. He didn't put any weight on it. He came out again for the
Yeah.
same weight. And of course, he's got Martin Bass of Bethnal Green coaching him. So, wise old head there.
Yeah, I always think it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Your opening lift is your 95% chance of success. Your second lift, you're looking more around 78 to 85%. And if you're putting on more weight, you just reduce your probability and increase your probability to bomb out. It's just not worth it.
And no one wants that. No one wants to come to an international and not
And
put a total up.
no one wants to see it. None of the other athletes
No,
competing against
no,
you want to see it.
absolutely. Nice and strong there.
Yeah, that was a nice lift.
Yeah. Looked a bit like an opener, to be honest.
Ruben Rodriguez Castro, 162.5.
Here he comes. He looks fired up.
Yeah, this will be a big personal best, so if there's a time to get fired up, this is it.
He was liberally coated in chalk there on his back. But of course, the New Eleco benches have that sticky patch, that perforated,
Yeah, and
grippy patch.
I think we're going to see, as athletes get used to that,
Yeah.
we're going to see a lot less chalk on
I think
the
so,
backs,
yeah.
and it's going to make the spotter's job a lot easier.
That's
I think
stalled.
there might.
Yeah,
it's not going
anyway.
Shakes it off. Yeah, shakes that one off. Sweden are in the house again
Well,
on
we have
both
Swedish lifters on
platforms.
both platforms, so the crowd
Carl
are going
on
crazy.
one side, Norling on the other. It's a package deal in Sweden.
It's fantastic to hear the level of support these local lifters have got.
So, by the noise, it's a good lift on platform 1. Let it transfer over here to platform 2. And it looks
that's
like
a
a good
lovely
lift
lift.
here. Let's wait and see. Referees say yes, it is.
Very nice.
Aquamet from France, 167.5. So just a 2.5 kilo increase. And his first lift was pretty tough.
Yeah, it was, so I think it makes sense to...
Yeah, didn't move super fast.
And it's uneven, but he's locked it out.
I think he's got it though.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it. Yeah, it's on the
Yeah,
board.
it's a good lift. I wouldn't go up any more than 2.5 though.
Yeah, there's not much more left there. Sushkov now from Russia, 180. So this will temporarily move him into the bronze medal position.
It will.
You know,
But I think
when an athlete bombs on one of their lifts, you just want to see them get a medal in one of the others.
Yeah.
You know, you just want them to feel better. We've all been there. We know what it's like. And it happens to the best. He is super strong on the bench.
He is. It's a long way below his PB, and it's still below what he originally put in as his opener.
Yeah, and I think that was a smart move. I mean, he used a lot of energy on those squats,
Yeah, he
and a
did.
lot of mental energy as well. And this is a confidence builder. Conor Borkett, USA, 187.5.
It's been very impressive already today. May have one more year in the juniors.
Yeah, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Opens. Another year as a junior, he is going to have some big numbers when he gets to the Opens. Look at that.
That's lovely, isn't it? I'd give him another 7.5 maybe on that.
Yeah, I think another 7.5.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in a really good position. And, I mean, if you can add, I mean, he added 10 already.
That just took the gold in bench.
Yeah, so I think if he adds another 7.5, even if it's a little bit of a risk, he's in a position where he can afford to risk that.
Now, interestingly, the Russian has put in 190.
Yeah, I thought he might go the 10 kilo jump on the last.
You know, I'm not sure whether it would have been safer. You know, he could have taken the silver medal with 185. He's not had a great day.
It'll be interesting. I mean, if he gets it and temporarily puts him into the gold.
It's a big risk, though, isn't it? It's
call.
shooting for the moon. It's all or nothing. He either gets the gold or he gets no medal.
Yeah, it's a big call. And just a little bit too heavy there for Lescavar. Jumped the command a little bit, did he?
It seemed to me that he jumped it and then came back.
And hesitated now. Yeah, it's that sort of natural instinct. As soon as you think you've jumped the command.
Yeah. Adidapo Ajuali.
Dapo from Great Britain.
Dapo. Just made a small technical error on his first bench.
Yeah, rectified that without any problems.
Yeah. It was certainly strong. I think he should be fine with this.
Yeah, no, I think the 5 kilos is quite reasonable. I imagine this was probably a calculated second lift.
I can see some green, Bethnal Green t-shirts in the audience. I think he's got some teammates with him. And I think he's got it.
I think, yeah, from this angle that looks good. It
Fantastic.
is.
He sounded almost angry, didn't he? Yes, my bar.
He's taking ownership.
Yeah.
Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain.
Missed this for his second attempt.
162 and a half. After his opener, I thought 7.5 kilos was quite reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. Bench is such a technical lift, though, if he hits this just right.
Yeah, I mean, when you get up to this point, when you're, real, true 1RM, every little technical issue makes a difference, and it's hit or miss. And you can see the difference. He got it all right.
And 3 wet lights, fantastic.
Compare that to the last lift. He put everything together
and he
right.
absolutely
did he just skip off?
He did, yeah.
Did we just see a 93 kilo powerlifter skip off the platform?
He absolutely did.
It's a very economical way of travel. Skipping is very efficient. Surprised the Germans don't do it.
So here we have Matt Lewis Wiener from Canada for 162 and a half.
Yeah, 5 kilo jump from his second. I think that's a pretty reasonable call.
Yeah,
not bad.
Good lift.
Still got a little bit of energy in the tank as well, which I think is always a good
Arguably
idea.
may have had another couple of kilos there.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. That's quite possible. He's got a little bit left in the tank now. He's not burnt out.
Yeah.
Having a third lift on bench that's not really taxing, you're a little bit pressure going out there for the warm-up. Jacqueline from France, 170. So he took the minimum 2.5 kilos. And we said after his second that even that's going to be a stretch.
Yeah. He struggled with all his benches.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought he was going to get that.
It was a brave attempt.
For a second there, I thought that was going to come up. He put in everything. So Carl Heinen from Sweden, 172 and a half. A nice little personal best for him.
It's his final year as a junior.
It'd be nice to finish in the top 5 or top 6 of a big field like this on your last year. and it is a big field.
Selford Rex. And it's going.
Oh, he's
Do you know?
grinding. He gets
Yeah,
there.
I think he's got it.
I think he might just have that one.
Oh, no.
And just 2 red lights.
Yeah, the
And I
bar
reckon
must
Oscar's
have
going to come to
dipped.
the jury on this one.
Do you know, I don't blame him.
I think it's worth a look.
Yeah, it's definitely worth asking.
Look, I don't encourage coaches to go to the jury all the time.
No.
But I think it's nice to go to the jury every now and then.
I
Just to
think I
advocate
would have
your
for
lifter
that
a
one
little bit.
because I was a little surprised to
Yeah.
see he hadn't got it.
So, Sushkov now
Sushkov.
for a 190.
This
If
is
he
a
gets this
real
on the
Hail
bag,
Mary, isn't it?
he goes to
All or
gold.
nothing.
He misses it. It's under his personal best.
But if he misses it, he doesn't get a medal.
But
Whereas
he
could have
has
put on,
used a lot of energy in his squats.
and he could have put on 185 and taken the silver.
I so want him to get this though. Oh, and he does.
It's an easy press.
Wow, he
Did
could have
get
put
the lift?
195 on there.
3
He
white
gets
lights.
it, and he goes straight into the gold medal position with one more lift to come.
Well, he's guaranteed,
He's
at
guaranteed
least
a silver.
At least silver.
He played the card.
That was a big risk for me,
It was
but
huge.
it's paid off for him. And here comes Conor Borkert.
And he's looking for 195, so this will put him
You
back
know,
in the gold
You
medal.
can't
for
bet against this lad. He's
Yeah.
been so consistent and strong. His technique's been great.
Yeah, the way that 187.5 moved, you know, I'd put 195 on there as well,
Yeah.
and I would probably have no doubts. And there it is. So let's see what the referees say. Good lift. He'll take the
that's
gold.
Gold medal
Sushkov
for
will take
Conor.
the silver though,
Yeah.
which I think was a great move.
And
worked
the
very, very well for him.
Norwegian Florilius takes the bronze.
Well done. Look at that. So don't go away though, because the party's only just getting started. We've got the deadlifts to come back here in 10 minutes time, and these guys have got some big, big deadlifts on the cards.
Welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. And we are just about to get the deadlift party started. And of course, I'm joined by none other than Joe Stoneface Whiteley. And we are going to take you through every bit of the action here.
We've had some exciting lifting already. There's some really strong young men here in the junior 93 kilo class.
It is unbelievable, some of the numbers. And wait till you see the deadlifts. Jordan Konjak now from Ireland at 235.
He's a calm young man, isn't he?
Yeah, just casually chalks up, walks out. Here, Jay, hold my beer. I'm going to go and lift this.
Oh, that's tough. That was a really tough break from the floor.
It was a tough opening lift.
Yeah.
I mean, sumos tend to be slow to break the floor,
but that didn't look like an opening to me.
Didn't look slow to break the floor. That was just a tough lift. Villain from Ecuador, 245. And of course, all our great sponsors that make this possible: Alico, Uplift, SPD. We don't talk about them because they're sponsors. We talk about them because we're powerlifters, and they are absolutely great product. 245. This should be a fairly reasonable opening lift. His PB is 260.
There's a big bench though, and big bench and big deadlift don't always go together.
Getting a good grip on that bar.
But that was nice.
That looks like a good opening lift, that one. So Matthew Shapira from Australia, 252.5.
Another very calm young man, not bringing any aggression to the platform at all.
Yeah, quite mature for such a young man.
That was a nice easy pull.
And just casually mows his on off. Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Great job, Jacob Valerius.
So, Jakob Valerius, he took a medal in the bench press, bronze medal.
Yeah, looking for some solid action on the bench here on the deadlift, 260.
He's a little bit late to the platform for me. We're down to 42 seconds. He's still casually chalking up.
I mean, even though a minute's a long time on deadlift, I just like my athletes to be there ready. You know, it just, if anything goes wrong.
But he's not flustered. And on the deadlift, they can't ask you to re-rack the bar.
No, you certainly have a lot more time.
I'm glad he did that little extra movement back there. I didn't think he was. He had his shoulders back at first, but he corrected it, pulled his shoulders back, and that was a good lift.
So Winter from Denmark now, looking for 265. Yep, not a bad opening lift.
Yeah, that
Smooth
was
all the way
completely
through.
fine. I think he's got a fair bit more to come. Daniel Feldstein from Australia coming out next. He's got a personal best of 302.5. Looks like we've got a deadlift specialist in the house.
And I mean, if you look at his arms and his levers, he just has that deadlift build, and conventional was what I was expecting.
Yeah.
When you're built like that, those long levers, you're made for conventional. He's got a real grip and rip
He
technique
has,
there, hasn't
yeah.
he? Just get in and get the job done.
A little bit risky because if you grab in the wrong place or don't quite get hold of it right, but it certainly worked for him there. That was a nice, easy pull.
Jacob Wagner, 270 now.
Another great conventional pull.
Yeah, and that was relatively fast opening lift.
These are big numbers we're into already.
So we moved to 280 for Paul Eager from Austria.
Emerging in a cloud of chalk there.
Yeah, there's always plenty of chalk getting around the air here.
Yeah.
Yeah, good opening lift there.
Yeah, these are great openers to see. Posing for the crowd.
For the camera on the way off.
Yeah. No, this will be interesting.
Yeah, so Vikslund from Norway, 287.5. He's had a rough day today.
He didn't have the best down squats. He didn't have the best down bench. Let's keep our fingers crossed for him on deadlift.
Yeah, all that grinding that he's had to do, very soporific.
But that was a lovely pull.
Yeah, looks like he's been waiting for this.
Yeah, he's just been
It's
getting
like
through the competition.
I've gotten the other stuff out of the
Yeah.
road. Just please let me deadlift.
Oh, I'm pleased for him.
Back around for their second round now. Jordan Konzak from Ireland.
He's only got up 5 kilos. He was just having a bit of a laugh and a joke with his coach there. Looking more relaxed than I look when I'm coming out to deadlift.
Yeah, he's looking pretty fresh. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it's great in the juniors. One of the things that coaches really have to focus on is making sure they enjoy this experience. Yeah, we want them coming back. We want these guys to be opens. This is the future of powerlifting. And I think 5 kilos was a smart move.
Yes,
That was tough.
I think that's on the limit. He got one red light for lockout, which he seems to find hilarious.
I just caught Jay doing the happy dance again. That's twice. That's 2 beers he owes me. If he keeps this up, he's going to owe me a carton by the end. Villain from Ecuador, 257.5.
He's only 20 years old. He's got a few more years in this class.
Yeah, and I think by next year, we might be looking at him as a 105.
I think so. He's
He is
a big lad in the 93s.
Big lad, isn't he? Yeah, that's one of the great things with the sub-juniors and juniors. I mean, you watch them change weight classes as they grow and develop.
He's moving his feet around a lot as he sets up. Seems to be struggling to just hit the right balance.
He gets it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It looks solid. Yeah, it just looked like he couldn't find a comfortable spot for his feet.
Yeah, it did. It's unusual to see the feet moving about quite so much.
Yeah, I mean, I like my lifters to have a bit of a ritual on the way they set up on
Absolutely.
deadlift.
Makes
But
it
I
the same every time.
And I also like it to be energy efficient and quite quick. I don't like to have them, doing all the big running around and moving around. I want them to save their energy, but having a ritual that works for them. And he is eyeballing his bar on this one. I think that's the most intensity we've seen at him. He's very calm and very casual. And he's a great young lifter.
Okay, had to really work for that one.
That was some tough work, but he gets it.
I think maybe only another 5, 7 at the most.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to see him push that too much further. Winter is coming. 277.5. You're can see him in the corner getting ready there. You can see him just getting that intensity, getting focused. Now it's the second lift. He's getting tired. He knows it's going to be tough, so he's increasing the intensity.
Still a little way under his PB. Oh, that's a nice lift.
That was good. That was
Yeah.
a lot
I think
easier
he's
than
got a bit
I was
left,
expecting
yeah.
for a second. Jacob Borelius from Norway, 280.
He's the big bencher. Gone up a good 20 kilos.
These guys are big, big lifters in this junior weight class. It's hard to believe that they're still juniors.
Yeah.
And the world record, 355.
Wow. Wow, that's huge. Oh, he had soft
Yeah,
knees
bit of
as
a
he
squeeze to the
pulled
top
that.
there.
I wonder if he might get a blue card. Nope.
Gets it
3
in there.
whites. Good lift. The danger when you halfway up, when your knees go soft, is that the knees slip under the bar rests on the thighs, and that gets you blue cards. But he was fine on that lift.
Jacob Wagner made short
Walks
work
out,
of that.
grabs it, pulls it.
No mucking around there. Daniel Felstein now from Australia, 285. Ray just gets his step ladder to reach up and takes his headphones off.
Setting a 15 kilo jump here.
Ray's going to listen to this, and I'm going to owe him beers.
Oh, that's a little bit of a struggle. Works through it.
He's got a great lockout, though. I mean, when he gets to the
has.
top there, he really, really fires those hips through with the glutes, and
Having
it's
said
really
that,
obvious.
He's just got a red light for lockout.
Probably, I'd say that it'd be the knee, I think.
So the red card can be either for soft knees or shoulders not back.
Paul Eager, 295. We talk about shoulders back, and sometimes you'll see lifters really over-exaggerate that to make sure they're back. But that there is shoulders back.
That's great.
He's
But
upright.
that can be counterproductive because if you lean back, you can unlock the knees.
And yeah, it certainly becomes difficult in the sumo as well because the balance structure. And you often see lifters over-exaggerate the shoulder in the sumo and lose their balance. Paul Eager, Austria, 295.
He's just been, hasn't he?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's the Norwegian. The
Vixland from
screens
Norway,
are a little bit
302 and a half.
delayed. Here he comes. It looks like he's finally hit his stride with deadlifts.
Yeah, he just wanted to get through all the other stuff.
This is a small PB for him.
2.5. This is huge.
Well, the speed of the bar belies the look on his face, really. It looked like it was really tough, but it went very well.
302.5. That was a huge, huge deadlift. Jordan Hansiak from Ireland, 245.
So this is the third round of deadlifts for the first group.
A 245 in the bar. Here he comes.
Yeah, he struggled a bit with his second, didn't he?
Yeah, it was tough. They've just gone the 5 kilos.
He's actually got a bit fired up for this one.
He's thrown in some intensity here. He's got some fire in his belly for this one.
And it's going.
Oh,
Can he
he's a
finish it
fighter
off? Can he
too.
lock it? Oh,
Just a bit too much.
Can't.
But he gave it everything he could.
That's a shame.
Gave it everything he could to get that one on the board. Can hold his head high from that performance.
Yeah. I don't think coach is too upset with him though.
He had a big smile on his
Yeah,
face.
he did.
Villain from Ecuador now, 267.5. This will be a personal best.
The platform crew are cleaning the bar as they must between every lift in the third round. He's got up 10 kilos, which may be a little
big
bit
jump on a
ambitious.
third lift
It
too.
is. Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, let's see if he can, yeah, you can see he's just not getting comfortable on those feet, is he?
I wonder if there's a lot of talc being brushed off.
Yeah,
People's
and I wonder
legs
if it's
with
that
the bar.
choice of shoes as well.
Yeah. He's off
Man.
centre.
Oh, he keeps it
Oh,
moving somehow.
The absolute
But it's just too
determination
much.
to get it as far as he did was brilliant.
He gave
I
that.
think it was a big ask to go up 10 kilos,
Yeah,
really.
he gave it everything. So Matthew Shapira, 275 from Australia. This will be a nice personal best for him.
Last thing he has to do today.
That's it. Last lift. Leave everything out there. Whether you lift it or not, walk away knowing that you gave it everything.
Absolutely.
Big, big breath in. Oh, it's moved well off the floor. It's a tough lockout and
It's
just losing
dropping,
grip there. You
yeah.
can see it slipping a little bit. But he did. He gave it everything. And he can walk away from that platform knowing that he didn't leave anything in the tank.
So we have the Danish lifter out next.
Winter is coming. 287.5.
He's also gone up 10 kilos. I think his second
His
was,
second moved pretty
yeah,
well.
It looked
I mean,
okay.
it was a little work, but it moved well. I don't think 10 kilos is a big, big stretch.
Oh, he's got it moving. No, it wasn't going there.
Just, no energy left in the tank. You get to the end of the day. And you can see when some of these guys walk out, they're looking tired. It's been a big day of lifting. Some of them are still looking fresh, but...
And you've used up a lot of your back and your legs on the squat, and even more back on the
your
bench.
nervous system, everything is just absolutely fried.
And for some of these lifters who've travelled a long way, it's the middle of the night.
Daniel Felstein from Australia. Now, his second lift was a bit of work.
It was, but do you know what? He's a nice deadlifter.
I don't think 5 kilos is unreasonable. It's going to be a little bit of a grind for him.
If he
He's
can
gonna
get
lift that
it
head up.
to his knees, but he can't.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get it moving fast enough there. You need that explosive momentum off the floor to get it moving. So Jacob Wagner, check out, 290. So he's gone the 10 kilo as well.
He's making a better job of it, though. That was a really well-judged attempt.
That was a big, big lift.
So that leaves him with a 715 total.
That is a solid total. Jacob Florelius, Norway, 302.5. 21 years of age.
And it's a great combination, isn't it? A big bencher and big deadlifter.
It's a good one to have in your pocket, that one. Bench is where you can get a few extra kilos to sneak up. And if you've got a big dead in your pocket.
Well, coming into this competition, his deadlift PB was 275 kilos. So this will smash it out of the water.
302. Double overhand hook grip.
No, he's not
And
knocking that out.
Just couldn't quite get there. You can see
Do
the
you know,
bar was just a bit far out in
he
front.
went up 22.5 kilos
Yeah,
for his third attempt.
Huge.
That's a little bit ambitious is being kind, really.
I mean, sometimes as a coach, you know, an athlete has a number they want to have a crack at. Sometimes it's nice to let them have a little bit of fun. It's not not really going to affect his rankings at all.
Very
He's
true.
not after a medal. Sometimes it's nice to let him have a little bit of fun. And you know what? I mean, he got it moving. So right now, 3:05, Paul Eger from Austria. A 10 kilo jump. It'll be a 5 kilo personal best.
And it's moving. Can he lock it out? Shoulders are going back.
Oh,
He's got the down command. I think he's got
I think
it.
he has. He has.
Three white lights. And he's delighted.
What a finish, 3:05.
Coach is delighted as well.
But the finish gets bigger because Viksland from Norway, he wants 3:15. He wants to put a number on the board that just maybe will be enough to stay in the deadlift medals.
Yeah, maybe so.
And if he can get it on the board, it
Here he
just
comes.
might
I'd
be
love
enough.
to see him pull this. That would be redemption enough, wouldn't it?
I'm looking at the openers, looking at how tired some of these guys are. It might be enough to hold on to a deadlift medal
This
position.
would be a 15 kilo PB.
He's
And
moving
it's moving.
fast.
It's going. I think
If he
he's
can
going to
hold
get it.
Put it down quickly. Oh, and I would imagine that is probably the knees, I think.
Oh, what a shame. But you know what? He can hold his head high. He stood up with that weight.
Yeah, I mean, look, he can walk away now going, you know what? I just lifted 315 kilograms.
And he will absolutely nail that in his next competition.
And that's right. The next time he does that, he will nail it. Jacques Gourmet from France, 255. This is the first lifter from our second group now. So we're into group 2. And there's some big numbers in here as well.
There are. We're going to see some huge deadlifts today.
Good opening lift.
Yeah, looked easy enough. 3 white lights. Some appreciative nods from his coach. Here we have the Russian lifter, Sushkov. Struggled on squats, but he nailed a silver medal on bench.
I'm looking to open at 260.
And that's an easy lift.
That was super fast.
What would you say he could put on that? A good 15?
Yeah, I'd put 15 on there for sure. I'd go to 275. You know, he's probably a little bit far away, the medal-wise, in the deadlifts.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm sure he's probably top 5.
Could be.
Could finish top 5 there. So Castro, Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain now, 277.5.
That was very easy.
He was trying to get his balance back to put it down. He was
He made it though.
feather
He
away
made it, though.
from losing his balance there before he put it down.
I was the same on my second squats a couple of days ago. I was falling, just holding on, waiting for the rack command.
I had the great privilege of commentating that session, and it was a privilege.
Thank you.
It's always nice to see a friend, you know, hit the podium. Now,
That was an easy pull, wasn't it?
Is a great lift. He gets the 2 white lights. He got 1 red there, and I'm pretty sure that was his knee.
His knee, I think, yeah.
And you know, his build makes it difficult to make it look obvious that I'm locked out.
And I think that makes him unassailable in first place
I was just looking at his
overall.
numbers there, and I was thinking if he gets this one on the board,
he's already got a 770 kilo total.
yeah, I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere near him unless there's an absolute miracle pull.
A Carl from Sweden, 280.
Very easy, Paul. Getting the hometown advantage there.
Yeah, good opener there.
Leskovar from Slovenia. He's opening at 295.
And you know what? In most competitions, opening at 295 in a 93 junior class would be the biggest lift.
Good.
And it's not.
No.
You know you're in tough competition when your 295 doesn't put you at the top of the order list. He looks quite casual.
He does.
Very relaxed.
I think he's just moving the bar. I think there's a fair bit of talc has fallen off people's legs and maybe some chalk off the bar.
Yeah, so the guys vacuumed the platform before this, cleaned it all up.
Yeah.
But everyone's walking out there with talc on their legs.
And especially when you've got a mix of sumo and conventional pullers.
Yeah, and that was very quick. Very quick.
With that narrow grip, though, it's really hard to get the hips through.
And he gets the two white lights. Wow. Yeah,
As you say, though, the weight was no issue at all.
At all. I mean, the talc on the floor doesn't bother you too much when you're a conventional lifter. But when you're a sumo lifter.
Yeah.
So, Matt Lewis Venner from Canada, 295.
Slow and steady.
Yeah, that was quite a nice lift. So, Odger Wiley from Great Britain, 305.
Here we have Dapo. Do you know he's opening on a British record?
Oh, there you go. It's a nice way to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things here, too. I mean, there's a lot of numbers that people put in, and some of them are for particular reasons, like national records and things like that.
Yeah, this is an open as well as junior British record.
Because we don't announce national records here, we only look at world records. But you can set national records at world competitions.
Oh, do you know, I was looking at the squats. I'm wrong. Don't worry.
Retract that.
I do retract that.
Oh,
but he's going to pull a lot more than this.
305. He is going to pull a lot more than that. But
you know, I think he was.
He did.
Yes, he put it
Lost
down
his
before.
Balance.
Yep. Jump the rack command. Oh, he's.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. I think he was just losing his balance and had no choice.
No,
it was close.
His own British record is 323, so he's done that in the past. But his plan's bust now. Whatever he was going to do,
he's put on the 305, and that's.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing as a coach.
Yes.
At this stage of the game, it's just too big a risk to put on the extra weight.
Yeah.
You can look fresh on that lift, but you can fatigue in a second.
Very quickly.
So Jacome from France, 270.
And he had to work for it, but it was still a nice deadlift.
Yeah, I think second lift, that was the right amount of work. So Sushkov now from Russia, 275. So he's gone up to 15 like we talked about.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, no problems with
Looks
that.
solid. So, look, I'd probably imagine a 285.
Yeah.
It's going to push him to the limit a bit.
So where are we looking now for medals? I think current gold medal position is 305, 302.5 for silver. But we have a lot of big lifts to come.
Yeah. Ruben Rodriguez Castro, Spain.
He's the lightest lifter in class. He weighed in 89.8.
292.5. Yeah, you give away a few kilos when you're that much lighter.
Nodding
Big nod
at
of
the
the head
top
at the
there,
top.
yeah.
Yeah, this one's mine.
Strutting off the platform.
So Sweden now, if you couldn't tell from the noise in the stadium. Carl Heinen from Sweden, 292.5. The only piece of equipment you're allowed to adjust on the platform, your belt.
Do you think the support, the hometown support he's getting here, you think that will help him lift more?
I think it certainly does give you that little bit extra. You know, I think it just fires you up that little bit more.
I think it gives you a little bit of grind, a lift that maybe you would have given up on. You just keep trying.
No, I think you're certainly more inclined to give that a little bit more when you've got that sort of support in the crowd. You know, I think that's also one of the great things about powerlifting. I mean, the stadium's filled with a lot of Swedish lifters, but they will cheer for everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
So Connor now 292.5.
This will absolutely cement his world title.
Wow, he is strong. He gets it on the board. It's still that one red light. Now watch his third lift when he comes out for his third, and his right arm. And as he starts to pull, he starts to actually...
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not a great thing, so it's something the coach will have to look at.
Yes, because you can detach your bicep that way.
So it's something he'll probably look at as he gets older and more experienced.
And here's Dapo. He's going to be furious with himself.
Look at him. He wants this one.
Oh, I hope he's not going to rush it. I heard his coach there just saying, stand up. And
he gets it. He is
good boy.
Pretty cranky with himself on that one.
He's a hype lifter. He gets really fired up. He gets really emotional.
So Matt Lewis Venner from Canada now, 305.
So that put Dapo into gold medal position on deadlift.
And
he's put a massive 330 in.
Wow.
I think that was his intended third attempt, maybe. But here we have 305 from Matt Lewis Wiener. Oh, and it's tough, isn't it? Can he lock it out? I think he's going to struggle.
No, we've gone up and down now.
Yes, he has.
He actually got that to the top and
he
locked
did,
it, but there's
going
an
to be
up-down
blue
movement
cards.
there. Yeah, he knew it when he walked off. So you're allowed 2 changes on your third deadlift. And so we'll probably see if you guys put some numbers in. Be looking at the placings, make some calculations, try and move up 1 or 2 places here and there.
So this is Vid Leskovar from Slovenia. This will give him the deadlift gold for the moment.
And
it will
temporarily
also
roll him into silver overall as well.
Yeah.
Be nice to put this one on the board because third lifts, we know the probabilities.
It's a 20 kilo increase on his opener.
He just looks so calm and casual.
So this will move him away from 4th and 5th place lifters.
Put a bit of space in there.
Yeah, it'll protect his podium position, but he's going to want the silver, not the bronze.
It's always nice to put a bit of space in there.
It's difficult sometimes. You can't chase the people ahead of you because you're protecting against the people behind.
You've got to really balance that out because you don't want to risk a bronze medal going after a silver.
Yeah. Very narrow grip.
Yeah, he really has. You know, and tough to hang on to around there. No knurling in that spot either.
Yeah, and it will have scraped all the talc off the thighs of the conventional pullers too. So here we go, 3rd round of deadlifts.
Here it is, Jacques Lemaitre from France, 282.5.
Big jump. It will move him overall from 8th to 4th. That's well worth it.
This is to try and move up the rankings a little bit.
I think he'll move him up a long way. Oh,
Right,
he's
there
just a
is
bit too
just
heavy.
no gas left in the tank. So Sushkov now, he's gone 297.5. That is a huge
It
lift.
is. All the deadlift placings are quite close in this class, so that will move him a long way.
It could be. I mean, it could be a Russian record as well. I mean, that'll move him up to 5th. Can't get him a medal, but we could be looking at a Russian record or something like that. Yeah, just a bit too much today. He's had such a hard day, physically and mentally. But
silver medal in bench.
Goes home with a medal.
Yeah.
So takes something home from it. I mean, that's the important thing. When things don't go right, change your focus. So Carl from Sweden, 302.5. So this will push him up to 4th place overall.
He's looking fired up. His second looked really quite easy. This is a 10 kilo jump. But I think he's good for it. He's got a huge amount of support from the crowd.
Sweden is in the house on both platforms.
Pulling on both platforms. The crowd are going crazy. Oh, he's got it to his knees.
I think he's
He's got it.
He's there. Is it on the board?
Oh.
2 red lights.
Got different
You
coloured
see Oscar
cards
looks
for that.
over. Oscar has a look at the
He's appealing
jury
to the
panel,
jury. Yeah.
and I think they might actually
When
have a
it's
look at it.
2 red lights and they're different failures.
I think they might have a look here.
I think so.
They're going to overturn. So Ruben Rodriguez Castro from Spain, 305.
He's screaming as he comes out. He's really fired up. He really wants this. It's going to give him the silver medal in deadlift.
And I
it's
think
going
they
to
did
move him up
overturn
in
the
overall.
Swedish lift.
You're right, they did. Oh, no.
Just a bit too much. Yeah. Here's a big thumbs up to the spotters and a big smile that everything's all good. So they did. They overturned the lift from Sweden.
I think that's fair.
So 302.5.
So now we have the Canadian lifter coming out for his second go at 305. So what will this do for him? This will move him up from overall bronze to overall silver.
And rank him 3rd in the deadlifts, with a few lifts to follow.
And it's moving.
He's got it moving better.
Oh, I don't think. Oh, he did. Just as I thought he couldn't
think
do
he
it,
might
he
have got
popped
that.
his hips through.
I think he might have it. Unlucky there.
Such a shame.
Yeah, and Jeff, the Canadian head coach, was going to come over to the jury, which I expect he would have. And I don't think he's getting much sympathy from the jury on that one.
No, I don't think he's getting anywhere on that. So here we have the very impressive young American lifter, Connor Borkert.
He has been outstanding today. He really has.
Is he 8 for 9 so far?
I think so,
I think he is. And that looks like 9 for 9 to me.
The one thing he's going to have to work on is that right arm, and I was just about to say the knees.
He didn't lock his knees.
Yeah, and it's partly, he wasn't, they're a bit soft, but the way he's built, it's really hard to convince a lockout
that's such a
as well.
shame because he had the weight, he was clearly strong enough. Just needs to work on that technique.
Be very convincing. Leskova from Slovenia.
So here we go, 2 deadlifts to go.
3 20. This will put him into the gold medal position on deadlift.
I think he's already
And
got
he
the
has,
gold.
and he
Yeah.
has the silver medal. Yeah, so he's ranked #1 with one deadlift to follow. He got the silver medal overall. It is locked away. It's in his pocket. No one can take that. Now, let's see. Does he get fired up for this one?
No, he does not. He wanders casually
No,
onto the
that's his
platform.
fired up look.
I'm glad you could tell the difference.
No, there's definitely, I can definitely see the difference there. There was just a shift in his smile. Everyone has their own way of doing it.
They do. He must have strong thumbs to hold onto that. As you say, it's hardly
double
on the
overhand
knurling,
hook
isn't it?
grip in that position is very awkward.
Oh!
And just slipped out of his hand there.
Just as we were talking about his grip, it let him down. But you know what? He's second overall.
And he takes the silver medal home.
And he's currently got the deadlift gold.
And Borket, with an outstanding performance, takes the
now
gold
we have
medal
a
home.
young man that wants to take that from him.
He wants to take the deadlift gold, and he wants to take the silver medal overall.
This will be a junior British record if he pulls it. It's his own record.
It's a big ask to go from 305 to 330, but the way he came out for that 305, he is fired up. If he is that fired up for this one,
I believe
he just might do
I
it. Here he is.
Come on,
He is
Dapper.
on fire. He wants this.
He's absolutely
He
furious
wants
himself
to
for missing that
own this.
first. He absolutely wants this dead. And it's going. Oh,
And just a bit too much. He's absolutely fine. He just got off balance. And he's
fine.
just
He's
upset
just
himself with
furious.
himself.
He's 6th overall,
what?
and he has the silver in deadlift.
He put in a big effort, absolutely
I'm
huge,
sure his
and he
coach
can
will be
walk
pleased
away
with him.
with his head held high that he did everything he could do to get that done. And, you know, absolutely fantastic performance from all of these guys. They have kept us entertained all afternoon. So don't go too far away. We are going to be right back with the medal ceremony. And, of course, there's still some action happening on Platform 1, and there's even more action happening here in Helsingborg tomorrow.